In the hush of a dimly lit study, you gently cup in your hand a small, unassuming disc of nickel. Its surface, smooth yet resilient, catches the light just so, revealing a subtle gleam that hints at stories stagnant with time yet rich with legacy. This is no ordinary coin. It is a 1970 Netherlands 25-cent piece, a modest denomination bearing the portrait of Juliana, queen of a nation defined by canals, windmills, tulips, and a spirit forged in centuries of transformation. Carefully minted in Utrecht, this coin, thin, precise, and cool to the touch, carries weight far beyond its 3 grams of nickel. It is a tangible whisper from 1970, a relic of a monarchy whose quiet strength shaped a European land dancing between tradition and modernity. Peer closely at its edges, finely reeded and meant to guard against tampering, and feel how the coin's circumference speaks to meticulous craftsmanship. Precision so crucial in everyday currency yet often overlooked. Flip it gently. On one side, the reverse, a crown 25, sits poised directly between the digits of the date 1970. The crown seems to hover, a quiet symbol of authority that watched over a nation rebuilding itself in the wake of war. Remember that in 1970, Queen Juliana was in the midst of her 3rd decade on the throne. Her reign was marked by empathy, decentralization of royal power, and a focus on social welfare, transforming the image of the monarchy from distant emblem to compassionate presence. Now envision the minting process. This coin struck thousands of times over until 39 million copies existed, each sheared from a roll of freshly milled nickel, each stamped with that stately portrait by Ludwig Oswald Wenckebach. His artistry positions Juliana's visage to the right, her features dignified, her gaze forward, a symbol of the continuity and stability she embodied. The minting masters, first J. W. A. van Hengel until 1969, and then Marius van den Brandhoff, whose mark subtly shifts around that period, oversaw its production. These shifts, though imperceptible to most, matter to collectors who understand that changes in mint master marks and orientation, such as a 45-degree fish-like tilt versus a vertical cock, carry whispers of minting history and small clues to authenticity. The 1970 coin belonged to a series spanning from 1950 to 1980, part of a transition from older silver-toned nickel to brighter nickel compositions. The 1970 version exhibits that crystalline shine, reflecting light faintly and capturing attention more than its matte predecessors. In your hand, it doesn't merely symbolize value, it embodies an era. The Netherlands then was forging ahead, nurturing the post-war social democracy it is known for, as this coin continued to facilitate everyday commerce. Paying for newspapers, tram tickets, sidewalk cafes, or portions of Gouda cheese. Yet now, as collectors sift through piles of coins offering mere cents in face value, they search instead for provenance and rarity. The 1970 Juliana 25-cent falls into an intriguing category, not rare in sheer numbers, but rare in narrative richness. Among its 39 million brethren, those in exceptionally fine or uncirculated states are few. Most bear marks of wear, softened rims, faint portraits, once sharp reeds now subtly worn. But those with strong strike, crisp detail, and that cool, untouched sheen are prized. In good condition, these coins might fetch mere pennies. But in grades like extremely fine or uncirculated, values climb. Numismatics catalogs list the 1970 coin at roughly 23 cents in very fine to 70 cents in uncirculated condition Numismatics. You close your eyes and imagine the journey of a mint-fresh coin, held first by civil servants, then by farmers, merchants, maybe even children who turned it into a toy before pocketing it. Over half a century, a gentle erosion of shine etched lines onto its face. Stories embedded in grainy texture, small scratches, an uneven surface from years of commerce. It traveled through wallets, coin jars, perhaps sunk softly into a couch or lost in laundry, until salvation by a numismatist's discerning eye. Now encapsulated in a protective sleeve, graded, catalogued, and cherished, and suddenly elevated beyond its humble value. Collectors compare series. Juliana's 25 cents minted in other years like 1969 carry subtle differences in mint marks and volume. The 1970 batch, High in number but low in scarcity makes high-grade specimens precious. And then there's the allure of the story. Juliana's reign is memorable for her human connection. During floods and crises, she spoke on radio and visited affected regions, weaving her into the national tapestry. Yet coins, even humble ones, preserve her likeness for eternity. Hold in your mind the contrast. In most currencies, a $quarter is trivial, something to be spent without a second thought. But this coin, in that grade, commands curiosity and care. It is not the coin's intrinsic worth that commands attention, it is provenance. A coin graded extremely fine might get a few dollars. Uncirculated could edge closer to 100, but the collector's dream of perfection, rarity, emotional resonance. Those intangibles that elevate value beyond arithmetic. And now, for a dramatic reveal that befits the journey. Imagine a collector at an auction, bidding against others who see beyond the shine and digit count. In a charged moment, the gavel falls $9,000, a sum that seems breathless for a 3-gram nickel disc. But in that $9,000 lives decades of history, artistry, craftsmanship, human stories, plunging into everyday life and lifting into collector lore. It is advertisement price? No, it's an emblem of fascination turned currency.